It was in the 18th century, our romantic poet Wordsworth observed, child is the father of man. It is one of the most profoundest observation on children. Now it has become an idiom in English language. Child is the father of man. There are varying interpretations on its meaning. Commonly accepted is that man is the product of habits and behavior developed in youth. Now, I think it has again changed, and that observation is very apt in our modern times. As we have heard from the discussion, it can refer to a child teaching the man what the father usually teaches his kids. Nowadays, kids teach us many things. It also indicates the role reversal in modern families where the father figure is no longer the father in the house. In parenting, the days of patriarchy is over. You cannot manage children as a patriarch. You give love, you get love. You reprimand your child, the child will reprimand you. So that is the way now the system works. Now, there is no universal standard in parenting, but there is a universal law in upbringing our children. We parents are expected to provide them certain standards of conduct and measures to ensure their welfare. The law developed internationally with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. In Article 25(2), it was stated that motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance. Thereafter, in 1959, there was a declaration of the rights of the child. And it laid down certain principles to be followed universally in the matter of children. It is very lengthy, so therefore I will refer to only those principles relating to parenting. Principle 6, the child, for the full and harmonious development of his personality, needs love and understanding. He shall, whenever possible, grow up in the care and under the responsibility of his parents, and in any case, in an atmosphere of the affection and of moral and material security. A child of tender years shall not, save in exceptional circumstances, be separated from his parents. Society and the public authorities shall have the duty to extend particular care to children without a family and to those without adequate means of support. Payment of state and other assistance towards the maintenance of children of large families is desirable. Principle 7. The child is entitled to receive education which shall be free and compulsory, at least in the preliminary stage. He shall be given an education which will promote his general culture and enable him, on basis of equal opportunity, to develop his abilities, his individual judgment, and his sense of moral and social responsibility, and to become a useful member of society. The best interest of the child shall be the guiding principle. of those responsible for his education and guidance, that responsibility lies in the first place with his parents. The child shall have full opportunity for play and recreation, which should be directed to the same purpose as education. Society and the public authorities shall endeavor to promote the employment of these rights. The last principle 10, the child shall be protected from practices which may foster racial, religious, and any other form of discrimination. So this was the basis of a law for universal parenting as laid down in the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. There were also other international covenants like the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights showed concern about the protection of and welfare of children by providing in Article 10.3 that special measures of protection and assistance should be taken on behalf of all children and young persons without any discrimination for reason of parentage or other conditions. Then again, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights also showed its concern for the protection and rights of child in Article 23 and 24. Article 23, which is mainly concerned with the family as the natural and fundamental group unit of society, refer to the children. It provides that in case of dissolution of marriage, provision shall be made for the necessary protection of any children. Article 24, which is fully devoted to the protection and right of the child, provides that every child shall have, without any discrimination as to race, color, sex, language, religion, national or social origin, property or birth, the right to such measures of protection as are required by his status as a minor on the part of the family, society, and the states. After 10 years of negotiation, the 54 Article Convention on the Rights of the Child was finally adopted by consensus by the General Assembly on the 30th anniversary of the 1959 Declaration on the Rights of the Child, that is on 20th November 1989. That is, the first it was a Declaration on the Rights of the Child in 1959. After 30 years, in 1989, a convention on the rights of the child was adopted by the General Assembly. The difference between convention and declaration is that the convention is international law. The states who ratify the convention are bound to follow the stipulations in that convention. This convention laid down about the 26 rights of the children. I will mention some of them, beginning with right to life. Every child has the right to life. State parties shall ensure to the maximum extent possible for the survival and development of the child. Second, right to a name and to acquire a nationality. Third, right of the child to preserve his or her identity. Every child has the right to preserve his or her identity, including nationality, name, and family relations as recognized by law without unlawful interference. The fourth one is right of the child not to be separated from his or her parents against his or her will. State parties shall ensure that a child is not separated from his or her parents against their will, except when competent authorities subject to judicial review determines, in accordance with applicable law and procedures, that such a separation is in the best interest of the child. The term best interest of the child is repeated in law regarding children. Then fifth is right of the child to express his or her views freely in matters affecting the child. Every child who is capable of forming his or her own views has the right to express his or her views freely in the matters affecting him or her, the views of child being given due weight in accordance with the age and maturity of the child. Sixth, the right to freedom of expression. The child shall have the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers, either orally, in writing, or in print.
So could you summarize where?
Yes. So, a litany of rights of the children are enumerated in the Convention on the Rights of the Children. And it is according to this international law, the various countries enacted laws regarding family and the welfare of the children. In India, we have our Constitution has incorporated many of the ideas stated in the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. For example, Article 15.3. Nothing in this Act article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children. So, what is stated in the declaration. Then Article 39 E and F are very important, that the health and strength of workers, men and women, and the tender age of children are not abused, and that citizens are not forced by economic necessity to enter avocations unsuited to their age or strength, that children are given opportunities and facilities to develop in a healthy manner and in conditions of freedom and dignity, and that childhood and youth are protected against exploitation and against moral and material abandonment. Then Article 45 of the... I will conclude. What I mean is that our laws concerning women and children are enacted according to the international conventions. For example, the Juvenile Justice Protection and Care of Children Act 2015, the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act, the Prevent Sexual Offences Against Children. All these enactments are in accordance with the international standards laid down in the Convention of the Rights on the Rights of the Child. We have also formed the various commissions: National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, State Commission for the Protection of the Child Rights, and all these commissions are also brought into existence by India, being a signatory to the Convention on the Rights of the Child to fulfill its obligations under the international conventions.
Perfect.